Namaste, everybody, and welcome to Round Glass. I'm Yeshe Rabgye, and thank you so much for joining me for this series live from India on relieving anxiety during these stressful times. So, today I'll be sharing a meditation to support yourself, which is a self compassion meditation. So, where are you in your life and where in your life are you looking for some support? That was a question that we asked you. Where are you looking for some support? So write your answers in the chat there. So it took me many years to realize that self-compassion is as important as compassion for other people. And you may not think that compassion and anxiety are joined together, but when you have self compassion, it means you care for yourself. It means you're going to look after yourself. And that way, it stops you from becoming stressed and anxious. So, that's what we're going to be looking at in this session. So I want to thank everyone for sharing in the chat window. And I see people need more support financially. I think we all need that. Emotionally, most definitely, with exercise and health and nutrition and general well being. And somebody even said, and love. I think we all need a bit of love. So, as I say, today's session is all about focusing on yourself. So, of course, when we focus on ourselves, we tend to feel a little bit selfish because this is the way we've been brought up. We've been brought up to think that, we must care for others, and if we care for ourselves, that's selfish, that's being self indulgent, a little bit narcissistic. But actually, it is none of those things. Self compassion and looking after yourself means that you support yourself. We're all going through very challenging times at the moment. We have been for the last 1.5 years. And so we need to support ourselves. Now, whether that's going to be with mental well being, or it's going to be spiritual well being, or physical well being, actually, all of those three are equally important. And we need to be focusing on those and supporting ourselves. So don't think that self compassion means being, self indulgent. It's not about when I'm feeling low, I go rushing off to the mall and spend lots of money to make me feel good, or eat lots of chocolate to make me feel good. That could just be me. Or, we do other practices where we indulge ourselves. It's not about that. It's about caring for yourself and looking after yourself. So, if any questions come up for you during this practice, ask in the chat window, and I'll get an opportunity at the end to answer these questions. So if you have any questions, please write them in the chat. If you have doubts, this is the time to write them there and let's clear them up. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to give ourselves some affirmations. We're going to say certain phrases to ourselves, repeat them 3 times, and then spend a little moment just thinking about the meaning behind these affirmations. Affirmations are such a great way of supporting yourself. We all have that little voice in our head telling us that we're no good and that won't work and you can't do that. That inner voice seems to be very negative and seems to try to bring us down. Actually, it isn't. What it thinks it's doing is making sure that we're not going to make the same mistakes, or we're going to look after ourselves. But what it's actually doing is talking very negatively to us. So when we have these positive affirmations, this positive self calming talk, it means that we're countering that negative and making it into a positive. So that's what this practice is about. We're going to think about a time when we were disappointed with ourselves. We're going to look at how that time made us suffer, and then we're going to repeat these affirmations. And hopefully, by the end of it, you're going to realize that you are your own best friend. So remember throughout all of this, the only person that you can ever know is yourself. And that's what we're hoping to do in this practice. So get nice and comfortable. If you're sitting on a chair, just make sure your feet are flat on the ground and a little bit apart. Your back is straight. Put it nice and straight, not too rigid. Drop your shoulders. And then very, very gently start to close your eyes. So to begin with, I want you to listen for any sounds that you can hear. So don't engage the sounds, build stories around them. Just let the sound float in and out of your consciousness without engaging it. And now just check in with your body. Are you holding any tension in the body? Is there any pain in the body? If you're feeling tension and pain, then just on your out breath, imagine you're breathing that tension, that pain out, and just soften and relax the area. So just gently scan through your body. And now, just before we start the meditation, I want you to check in with your thought. What is your thought process at the moment? Is it positive or negative? Are you feeling optimistic or a little bit pessimistic? Just become aware of your thought process. And also become aware of what emotion you're feeling. So don't try to change it or get all tangled up with it. Just become aware. What is your thought process? What is your emotion at the moment? So now let's start the meditation. So I want you to focus your awareness on the fact that you're breathing in and you're breathing out. And leave your awareness on that for a moment. And don't try to change the breath. Just allow it to flow naturally. And when your mind starts to wander off, which it will, it's okay. Just naturally bring it back and start focusing on your breath again. So continue to focus on your breath. And each time you breathe out, just allow your shoulders to soften and drop, and feel yourself sinking down into your chair, becoming more and more relaxed. The more relaxed you are, the more benefit you'll get from the meditation practice. So now I want you to think of a time when you're a little bit disappointed with yourself. Maybe you made a mistake, or you said something or did something that you regret. Maybe you became unwell and you were annoyed with yourself for that. Whatever it is, just bring it into the front of your mind and just sit and think about that time when you were annoyed with yourself. And to help you really engage with that time, try to remember, what day was it? What time of the day was it? Was anybody there with you? Answering these questions is really going to get you to fully engage with this situation. So remember, this is a self-compassion meditation. So when you're thinking of this time you were disappointed with yourself, try not to get upset with yourself or judge yourself. Look at this situation with compassion and kindness towards yourself. And while you're thinking about this time, I want you to check in with your feelings. How is it making you feel now when you're thinking about this time you were disappointed in yourself? How is this time making you suffer? So now I'm going to say certain phrases, and I want you to repeat each phrase 3 times. And then once you've repeated them 3 times, I want you to just sit and think about the meaning of the words. So I don't want you to just blindly repeat the words. After we've recited them 3 times, I want you to think about the meaning. What do they mean to you? So let's begin. Repeat this 3 times. This is just a moment of suffering. Sit and think about that phrase for a moment. This is just a moment of suffering. And now repeat this 3 times. Suffering is a part of life. And sit and think about those words for a moment. Suffering is a part of life. Everyone suffers like this. Repeat that 3 times. And sit and think about the meaning of this phrase. And now repeat this phrase. I'm not alone in my suffering. And sit and think about that for a moment. And now repeat this. May I learn to accept the way I'm feeling. Think about those words. Now repeat this. May I be safe, healthy, and have a peaceful mind. And think about those words a moment. Now repeat these words. I care for myself. I have compassion for myself. Think about those words. I support myself. I am my own best friend. Repeat that 3 times. And sit and think about the meaning behind these words. And ask yourself, do you support yourself? Are you your own best friend? Hopefully, the answer are yes for those 2 questions. So now I just want you to sit quietly for a moment with this feeling of self compassion in your heart. So now I want you to just very slowly start to open your eyes. Just sit there a moment, just giving yourself time to relax and gently bring yourself back into your room. For me, it's always that last one. I support myself. I am my own best friend. And I know I'm my own best friend, but sometimes I also know I don't support myself. So just take a moment to reflect on this practice. Look back, think about what you've said. How did that make you feel? Do you support yourself? Are you your own best friend? So just take a few moments now to think about those questions and also think about, has this meditation been good for you? Are you now feeling that supportive and compassionate to yourself? Just think about those points a moment. And while you're reflecting on these points, if any questions come up for you during this practice, feel free to ask them in the chat now. So, Warren is looking for support releasing selfish and regret, past, and support being constant and positive. Yeah, you see, a lot of the time we look outside ourselves for this support, but really, our starting point should be us, our support, our support for what has gone on in the past, our support for maybe not acting in a good way or making mistakes. We're human beings, we make mistakes. So the starting point for support should be ourselves. We can support ourselves. Now, sometimes we do need to go outside, and that's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's fantastic. But we need to also be supporting ourselves. And somebody is asking for advice for overcoming laziness. So sometimes when we sit down, we become a little bit lazy when we're doing the practice, and there can be several reasons for that. One reason could be that we are actually tired. Another reason is that maybe this is not the best time of the day for us to meditate. You know, many people say we should meditate in the morning, but that's not good for everybody. So you need to find a time when it's best for you to do the meditation. Another thing that could make you lazy when you're doing the meditation is the room is too hot. So you're not getting enough air come flowing through. So try to find a good time to do your meditation. Try to sit in a place where there's lots of air and you're feeling not too hot. If you are about to fall asleep and you're feeling a bit lazy during the practice, take some deep breaths in and out through the mouth, and just do that for a moment. It brings in good oxygen, wakes us up, and then we can go back to doing the meditation practice again. But laziness is a state of mind. If you're feeling lazy and I can't sit down to do the meditation, acknowledge that. Okay, I'm feeling lazy, but sit down anyway. Because once you've sat down, then you're going to think, okay, now I can meditate. So RB said, I have a difficult time feeling compassion for myself when my words cause suffering to others. I feel as though providing myself with compassion makes the suffering of others okay, which is definitely not. I think, the way that we've all been brought up, that we feel that compassion for ourselves is wrong. But like I said at the beginning, it isn't. If we don't have compassion for ourselves, then we're not going to have compassion for others. And if you're worried, you think you don't deserve compassion because you've said something or you've done something that has upset somebody, give yourself a break. You're a human being. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to say and do things that may upset people. Forgive yourself for that. Because if you don't forgive yourself, you're just going to carry that heavy load around with you. So I know that self compassion can be a difficult thing, but the more that you support yourself, the more you'll see that it is not a selfish thing. It's something that's going to help you through life. So thank you for those wonderful questions, and thank you for sharing this time together. And please continue to explore meditation with us. Check out our daily live meditations on Round Glass or on our Round Glass app. So thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again in another live session. Until then, namaste.